Imagine this. It's the 1740s, the height of the British Empire's naval power. A secret mission set sail to plunder Spanish treasures in the Pacific, but one ship vanishes into the storm-ravaged waters off South America. For nearly a year, it's presumed lost with all hands, over 250 souls gone. Then, against all odds, a ragged group of survivors washes up on a distant shore, hailed as heroes. But wait, their story hides dark secrets, mutiny, murder, and whispers of cannibalism. Welcome to the incredible saga of HMS Wager, a tale of human endurance that rivals any Hollywood thriller. Our story begins in 1740, amid the War of Jenkins' Ear, quirky name for a brutal conflict between Britain and Spain over trade routes and colonies. Commodore George Anson leads a squadron of 6 ships on a top-secret operation. Circle the globe, harass Spanish ports in South America, and capture a legendary treasure galleon loaded with gold and silver from the Philippines. Enter HMS Wager, not a fancy warship, but a repurposed merchant vessel armed to the teeth. Captained initially by Charles Kidd, who dies of typhus before they even leave port, command falls to Lieutenant David Cheap, a stern, ambitious officer. Among the crew, young midshipman John Byron, just 16, grandson of a famous explorer and future grandson of the poet Lord Byron, and gunner John Bulkley, a no-nonsense sailor with a knack for journaling everything. The fleet sets off from England with high hopes, but disaster strikes early. Crossing the Atlantic, typhus, a deadly fever spread by lice, rips through the ships. Nearly 200 men die in agony, their bodies sewn into hammocks with cannonballs and dumped overboard. By the time they reach the infamous Drake Passage around Cape Horn, the crews are skeletons of their former selves. Winds howl at over 180 miles per hour. Waves tower like buildings up to 30 feet high. Scurvy sets in, rotting gums and reopening old wounds. The Wager gets separated in the chaos. Navigation, a nightmare. No accurate clocks for longitude, just dead reckoning and prayers. On May 14, 1741, Lookout spots land too late. The ship slams into rocks off a desolate Chilean island. Water floods the hull. Chaos ensues. Captain Cheap orders a desperate turnaround, but he slips, dislocating his shoulder. The Wager is doomed. As the ship breaks apart, the crew scrambles into lifeboats. About 140 make it to shore, a barren, fog-shrouded rock, now called Wager Island. No palm trees or coconuts here, just dense forests, relentless rain, and biting cold. They salvage what they can: flour, salted meat, a bit of rum. Captain Cheap, in pain but unyielding, sets up camp with huts from sails and branches. A bell rings for meals and routines, trying to maintain naval discipline. But nature doesn't care about ranks. Food runs round fast. They boil seaweed into pies, hunt seabirds, and forage wild celery, which, unbeknownst to them, is packed with vitamin C, staving off scurvy. Local indigenous people, the Kawesgar nomads, paddle in canoes, sharing fish and sea urchins before vanishing into the mist. Hunger turns men feral. Theft becomes rampant. Fights break out. One sailor kills the camp dog for meat. Captain Cheap, losing control, shoots and kills a crewman named Henry Cozens in a heated argument, claiming self-defense, but whispers of murder spread. Morale crumbles. Young Byron later writes of the unthinkable. As starvation grips them, some turn to cannibalism, eating the dead to survive. Months drag on. The island becomes a pressure cooker of despair. How long can humans hold on before they break? Enter the turning point. Gunner Bulkley steps up as a rival leader. Religious and practical, he rallies the men with a bold plan. Rebuild the ship's wreckage into a seaworthy vessel. They chop, saw, and lash together an ark about 50 feet long, plus a smaller boat. But Captain Cheap wants to head south to rejoin Anson's fleet. The crew, they vote north, through the Strait of Magellan to neutral Brazil, a 3,000-mile gamble. A petition circulates, signed by most. We're done following you, Captain. Mutiny erupts. Cheap is overpowered and arrested for Cozen's death. He refuses to join, staying behind with a loyal handful. In October 1741, Bulkley's group, 81 souls, set sail. Storms batter them. Scurvy returns. They hunt seals, but gorge too quickly, dying from refeeding syndrome. Only 30 stagger ashore in Rio Grande, Brazil, after 100 grueling days. Heroes? For now. Back on the island, Cheap and 19 others endure another brutal winter on scraps and algae. In desperation, they befriend Patagonian tribes and hitch a ride north to Kilauea Island, only to be captured by the Spanish. Imprisoned but treated decently, they're eventually released and make it home via Lisbon years later. The survivors return to England as celebrities. Bulkley publishes his journal, a bestseller, accusing Cheap of tyranny and incompetence. Newspapers lap it up like a serialized drama. But when Cheap arrives, the counter-narrative explodes. Mutineers, murderers, cannibals. A court-martial convenes, but it's a whitewash. The focus? Blame the wreck on a lieutenant's navigation error. No one hangs. The Admiralty sweeps it under the rug to hide the mission's failures and the crew's savagery. After all, Anson, the big boss, had succeeded solo, capturing a Spanish galleon worth millions today, becoming a national hero. What happened to our key players? Byron climbs the ranks to vice admiral, inspiring his grandson's poetry. Bulkley vanishes into the American colonies. Cheap captures more prizes at sea before retiring quietly. And the island? Artifacts from the Wager still wash up today, a ghostly reminder of history's dark chambers. In the face of empire's greed and nature's fury, heroes become villains, and survival demands the unthinkable. If you loved this dive into history's dark corners, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales of adventure and survival. What's your take? Could you endure what they did? Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.